The YoloBox Ultra is an incredibly powerful all-in-one encoder. And if you've been following the development of this little device, you're going to know that the feature set on this has flown through different iterations. If you go into their user group on Facebook, you can see that they actually pay attention to feature requests and do their best to bring them out as quickly as possible. And that is incredibly impressive for a company to be able to listen to their customers so very well. It also creates problems from time to time because in the addition of features one after the other as they roll out, sometimes things don't play well with each other. And so there have been a few issues that have crept into software updates, firmware updates, that have broken some things as they've brought in new features. So today's video is going to be much more of a stability report than a review of the new features coming with the YoloBox Ultra 2.7.4 software update. So last night I set up my cameras and I ran a 22 or so minute live stream running motion in front of my cameras as much as I could, just set them up there in my living room, and I was able to get a 0 drop frame rate for all 22 minutes, never had any kind of glitching with the video, which is the one thing that kept me from using the YoloBox Ultra late in my football season. I noticed for the first 2 streams that I did in football season this year with the YoloBox Ultra, I had about every 12 or 13 seconds just a freeze and glitch that would show up in the stream for my end users. And so I switched over to a different device to finish out the year, but this update should promise to give us a very clean and smooth end result. So that was the test last night, and I'm here to report it was very successful. Never saw any kind of hiccups, never saw any kind of glitches at all in the duration of that live stream test as I went about 22 minutes last night. And so I wanted to talk you through that, but also to show you kind of how that looks as we look at the YoloBox Ultra itself. So let's look at what's running on the YoloBox Ultra right now. I have a Mevo core running in through HDMI. I have the OBSBot Tiny 2 Lite running in via USB 1. And then I have a couple of NDI sources as well. I have an OBSBot Tail Air over here to my left that's running into an NDI source here, and then I have just my iPhone running in as another NDI output that's trained on this device, so you can see what it is that's happening here. And let me just say this about the folks at YoloLive: for them to have the wherewithal to back off, they rolled back some features in 2.6.8. They brought some of those back in 2.7.4 as they got them fixed, as they got them ready for prime time. They added some features as well. I'm not going to go through those features. That video is actually coming out on a different channel. There is, I believe StreamTech is doing a live today, and it should be going live here, if not already, in just the next little while. So you might want to tune in and ask your questions or participate in that live stream that's coming up. But what we've got in the current version is a very stable release of the YoloBox Ultra firmware. I will point you in a couple of directions. Now you notice that I've got a black and white picture with a Tiny 2 Lite. That is because of the USB cable that I'm using. It's my mistake. It doesn't handle data quite as well as it should, so it defaults back to black and white on that one. That's just an oddity for that cable itself. But I do want to point out that on the OBSBot Tail Air PTZ camera, if I'll go into settings and look at my PTZ control, all I need to add to get PTZ control in this version of the YoloBox Ultra is to put the IP address in. And I find that in the OBSBot Tail Air software, the OBSBot Start software, in the About device, I can find the IP address. And so all I have to do is type that in here, enter, okay, done. And now on the Tail Air, I get PTZ control. And it's really good. Now, it's not really fast because I am taxing this little 2.4 gigahertz network that I'm working on here at my office, but it is exceptionally good. And notice across the top that I get 5 presets. I can set 5 presets plus I can return to home. That's actually 6 presets. If I set my camera up right, then I have full control within the YoloBox Ultra of my PTZ cameras, including the OpsBot Tail Air. So as I ran my tests last night, I went ahead and did overlays so I could tell if it was going to handle the overlays for me or not. I went ahead and added video sources into the mix so that I could tax the system just a little bit more. I could run some of that pre-roll over the top of what I was doing. And then I also did replay. I set my replay up last night so that it would, we can do replay for program. Turn that on. My settings, about 10 seconds should be fine. So that when I tap the replay button, it would go ahead and give me that replay. Very good, stable update. If you've been holding off, I don't think you have to anymore. This device is ready to roll. This is just the basics of live streaming. I'm not covering any of the features set that came out, the new features that were turned on with this. I just wanted to make sure that folks understood that this 2.7.4 update for the YoloBox Ultra is in fact incredibly stable. It does live stream well. You'll see the recording of this as it comes out as well. So just know that what they've done here has been a fantastic update, and it is stable, ready for prime time.